"Human, why do you gaze at me with such anger?" the alien woman asked, her voice trembling with fear, her luminous blue eyes wide with confusion as she took a hesitant step backward, her slender fingers curling as if preparing to defend herself if needed. Her silver skin shimmered under the artificial light of the spacecraft, reflecting the deep blues and greens of the swirling nebula outside, yet her expression was not one of hostility, but of genuine fear and curiosity. The man before her clenched his fists, his jaw tightening as he struggled to control the whirlwind of emotions raging inside him. The memories of destruction and loss vivid in his mind like fresh wounds. His home, his people, everything he had ever known had been torn apart by beings who looked just like her. His heart pounded in his chest like a war drum, his breath shallow and ragged as he fought against the urge to lash out, his entire being consumed by grief and rage. "You dare to ask me that," he said, his voice barely above a whisper yet filled with venom. "You who belong to the race that brought ruin to my world, how can you even pretend to not understand?" The alien woman flinched at his words, a pained expression crossing her delicate features. "I do not understand," she said, shaking her head, her silver hair flowing like liquid metal in the weightless chamber. "I am not your enemy. I have never set foot on your world before today. I do not know of the ruin you speak of." "Lies," he spat, his voice rising. "You all look the same with your glowing eyes and silver skin. You think I would not recognize my oppressor?" Her hands trembled, but she did not step away any further. Instead, she held his gaze, her voice steady despite the tremor in her form. "I do not ask for your trust, human, but I speak only the truth. I come from the outer colonies. My people live in peace. We have never waged war against any species, nor do we seek to do so. But I have heard of the horrors that others of my kind have committed. I know the weight of the crimes that stain our history." The man hesitated, his fury faltering slightly as doubt crept into his mind. She did not carry the armor of the invaders, nor the insignia of the fleets that had torn through his world. She was dressed in flowing fabrics interwoven with bioluminescent threads, patterns shifting across the material like living constellations. Her demeanor lacked the arrogance of a conqueror. Her fear and sadness seemed genuine. "But how can I believe you?" he asked, his voice softer now. "How can I trust that you are not one of them?" "Because if I were," she said, her voice steady, "would I not have struck you down already? You are unarmed, vulnerable, alone. I have no weapon, no soldiers at my command, only my word and my hope that you will listen." A heavy silence stretched between them, the hum of the ship's life support systems the only sound that filled the space between their heartbeats. The man exhaled slowly, his rigid posture easing slightly as his mind wrestled with the conflict within him. "If you truly come in peace, then why are you here?" he asked, awareness still lacing his tone. "What do you want?" She lowered her gaze for a moment, as if searching for the right words, before meeting his eyes once more. "I came in search of survivors," she said. "There were rumors that some had escaped the fall of your world, that they were those who had been taken prisoner. I wanted to find them and offer them safety away from the war, away from those who seek to harm them." His heart clenched at her words, a bitter mix of sorrow and yearning swelling within him. Hope was something he had not allowed himself to feel in a long time, the thought that there might still be others like him, lost, alone, searching for a way to survive. It was almost too much to bear. "And why would you do that?" he asked, his voice raw. "Why would you risk yourself for my kind?" "Because I know what it is to lose a home," she said simply. "My ancestors fled from war long ago. They sought peace and sanctuary among the stars. And I was raised with the belief that all beings deserve the same chance to live free of fear, to have a future that is not tainted by the mistakes of the past." Her words hung in the air, heavy with unspoken meaning. The man studied her face, looking for deception, but found none, only sorrow, only sincerity. His anger no longer burned as fiercely, the flames dimmed by something he had thought long extinguished, the possibility of understanding. "Then help me," he said, his voice barely above a breath. "If what you say is true, if there are others out there, then help me find them." A small relieved smile touched her lips. She extended her hand toward him, a silent offering, a fragile bridge between two souls shaped by loss and longing. He hesitated only for a moment before taking it. Together they set off into the vast unknown, bound by unspoken agreement to seek out those who remained to find the lost and the broken, and give them a new beginning. Their journey would not be easy. They would face obstacles beyond their understanding, challenges that would test their fragile alliance. But for the first time in what felt like an eternity, the man felt the stirrings of something he had thought lost forever: hope.